So that budget iPhone never did quite materialise. Instead, we got the iPhone 5C, an iPhone 5 in a plastic neon jumpsuit, or a plastic reimagination if you will. Now the rear camera is the same, as is the screen and processor and functional design. In fact, the only real changes of substance are its front-facing camera, battery life and case material. But the 5C represents the dawn of a new era. Colourful overcoats are in, boring black is out. And it's hard not to miss Apple's slightly cheaper offering, which is available in a selection of 5 colours, which ultimately distinguishes it from the iPhone 5, so will no doubt appeal to those who want to be different. The good news is, the 5C doesn't feel cheap and plasticky in the hand. That's probably because the 5C isn't cheap. And to spruce things up even more, Apple has designed its own Connect 4 style cases for a bit of colour contrast. The iPhone 5C comes with iOS 7, Apple's most dramatic revamp of its operating system to date. Gone is the stale skeuomorphism and textures, replaced by minimalist yet attractive icons, ultra-thin font, subtle transparencies, and lovely animations. All new gestures like the swipe up to reveal the control center panel and left and right swipes in Mail and within folders are all much welcomed features. Best of all, it's still immediately recognizable, so iOS users should feel right at home. iOS 7 is critical to the 5C's appeal as much as its plastic overcoat. It even themes an interface with its vivid casing. It's that themed. And it really is a gorgeous OS and a deceptively huge improvement over iOS 6, complemented nicely by the slightly shifting wallpaper. The widgets and live tiles of Android and Windows Phone 8 are still missing, but you'll still find Apple borrows from both in order to deliver its new and slick smartphone experience. That said, in direct contrast to our experience with the 5S, we still found bugs and niggles. The settings screen quit twice, sometimes the transition back to the home screen would land with a final jolt rather than a glide, and there were definite redrawing issues when swiping through the new multitasking screens, and we got the occasional non-touch response. So despite being brilliant, it's clear iOS 7 is still a work in progress. Now you'll be staring at it through the same 4-inch 1136 by 640 Retina display, which means it's bright, viewing angles are excellent and a pleasure to look at. A slightly bigger screen would have been great, but it's still fabulous and means the 5C maintains easy one-handed use. But iOS 7 manages to cram more content in by stripping away navigational furniture, like with Safari's gorgeous new Rolodex tab browser and hidden buttons and bars. All we need now is for more popular apps to update and the 5C will steadily improve. Now, as I've already mentioned, it sticks with the same dual-core A6 processor, so no glamorous 64-bit chip and M7 coprocessor here. But the iPhone 5C is more than powerful enough for virtually any job. Response to a tap on the touchscreen is quick, apps switch without any stutter, and there's no lag when opening crucial items such as the camera. Now, some of you may not have spotted this, but the 5C's casing is slightly deeper, presumably to house its slightly beefed up battery. Our 5C showed 85% remaining after around 14 to 15 hours of standby and several hours of use, so pretty impressive, but more importantly, it could mean 2 days of light use before needing a recharge. Then there's the 5C's 8-megapixel camera with LED flash that's been inherited from the iPhone 5, but the camera app itself has undergone an overhaul that makes it feel like new, and it's really good. Switching between stills and video modes is now a quick flick across the screen, alongside 2 further modes, Square and Panorama. And there's a new set of Instagram-like filters which are easily accessible. This isn't revolutionary stuff, but it's a nice touch having them close at hand for quick access. Switch to video mode and you'll find the same 1080p recording featured in the iPhone 5, along with 720p from the 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, which now has more pixels and improved backside illumination. It goes without saying, the 5C is in no way a budget or entry-level device, and monthly contracts aren't as attractive as we'd all hoped either. And for another £80, you've got yourself the super-powered iPhone 5S. Understandably, there are many who see the 5C as regressive, but the fact the 5C is virtually a colourful rehash shouldn't damn it. Everything we said about the 5 still rings true. It's fast, stable, and takes great pictures with the added bonus of iOS 7, a sophisticated and radical new look for the iPhone with genuinely useful new tricks and shortcuts. And while it could have been so much more radical and customizable, it is still rather beautiful, but it's also still very much stuck in its ways, giving Android the edge. The iPhone 5C doesn't compete with the features offered by main rivals, but the 5C is another small step towards a more affordable iPhone. So if you were to pick an iPhone that wasn't cutting edge, but still had everything most people need, the iPhone 5C is it.